In mid-century America, the suburb of Bay Village, Ohio, embodied the American dream. White picket fences, children playing by Lake Erie, doctors and lawyers raising their families in comfort, and among them, Dr. Sam Sheppard, a respected osteopathic surgeon, his wife Marilyn, and their young son. Two neighbors. They were the perfect family. But on the night of July 4, 1954, the dream shattered. Marilyn Sheppard was found bludgeoned to death in her own bedroom. Sam, battered and dazed, insisted he had fought off an intruder. Yet within days, suspicion turned toward him. This case would not only divide a community, it would transform American justice forever, testing the power of the press, the meaning of a fair trial, and the frailty of truth in a world where facts and headlines blur. This is the story of Sam Sheppard, the man, the murder, the trials, and the legend that became the fugitive. July 3, 1954, Bay Village prepared for fireworks and parades. The Sheppards hosted friends. Sam, handsome and athletic, played cards. Marilyn, radiant in her mid-30s, entertained. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But in the early hours of July 4th, everything changed. According to Sam's account, he fell asleep on a downstairs daybed around 5 a.m. He awoke to his wife's screams. Racing upstairs, he claimed to see a shadowy figure, a bushy-haired man standing over Marilyn. Sam lunged. A violent struggle followed. He was struck from behind and knocked unconscious. When Sam came to, Marilyn was gone. Her body, brutally beaten, was sprawled in their bed, struck more than 30 times. Blood covered the walls, the sheets, the floor. Their unborn child was lost in the attack. Sam staggered outside, down by Lake Erie. He said he fought the intruder again before blacking out a second time, waking hours later with waves lapping against his body. To police, his story raised questions. Why no forced entry? Why was nothing stolen? Why did Sam's wounds seem minor compared to the savagery Marilyn endured? From the start, suspicion was aimed not at a phantom intruder but at Sam Sheppard himself. Before police could build their case, the press had already declared one. The Cleveland Press, led by editor Louis Seltzer, went on the offensive. Headlines screamed, "Somebody is getting away with murder." Another, "Why isn't Sam Sheppard in jail?" Each story painted Sam as a philandering husband, arrogant, secretive, guilty. Within weeks, the Sheppard home was overrun with journalists. Reporters were given front-row courtroom seats. Jurors' names and addresses were published. The trial became a carnival, an experiment in mob justice disguised as news. Inside court, the prosecution lacked a weapon, lacked a confession, but leaned on circumstantial evidence. They argued Sam invented the bushy-haired intruder to hide his guilt after a marital dispute. They pointed to blood patterns, claiming a killer so brutal could not walk away with only a scratch. The defense, unprepared for the storm of public opinion, faltered. On December 21, 1954, after 9 weeks of testimony, the jury returned its verdict, guilty of second-degree murder. Sam Sheppard was sentenced to life in prison. For the next 10 years, Sam Sheppard lived as prisoner number 5267. He maintained his innocence. His son, Sam Reese Sheppard, grew up visiting his father behind bars. Outside, the public lost interest. Sam became another convicted murderer until whispers began spreading. Was the trial fair? Or had a man been railroaded by a press eager for blood? In 1959, NBC aired a dramatization of the case, stirring fresh debate, and behind the scenes a young, brilliant defense attorney was circling. Enter F. Lee Bailey, sharp, ambitious, relentless, already making a name in high-profile cases. Bailey saw Sheppard not just as a client, but as a symbol. To Bailey, this wasn't just about innocence, it was about principle. The Constitution promised fair trials. Sam hadn't received one. The evidence wasn't the problem. The problem was prejudice. Headlines had convicted him long before the jury deliberated. Bailey's fight was uphill. Appeals had been denied for years, but he believed the Supreme Court might listen not about guilt or innocence, but about fairness. Segment 5. The landmark Supreme Court ruling. In 1966, Sheppard v. Maxwell reached the U.S. Supreme Court. Bailey argued that Sam's conviction was the product of a carnival atmosphere. Justice Tom Clark agreed. In an 8-1 decision, the court declared Sheppard's trial unconstitutional. Clark's words were clear. Massive, pervasive, and prejudicial publicity prevented a fair trial. This ruling changed American law forever. Judges were now empowered to sequester juries, control media access, and issue gag orders. The Sheppard case became a cornerstone of trial procedure, a warning that justice cannot survive in the glare of unchecked publicity. Sam Sheppard would be retried. In October 1966, 12 years after Marilyn's death, Sam returned to court, but this time, the rules were different. The jury was sequestered, reporters were controlled, and F. Lee Bailey commanded the defense. Bailey tore into the state's case. He called forensic experts who dismantled the blood spatter theories. They showed the killer would have been soaked in blood far more than Sam ever was. They argued Marilyn's killer was left-handed, Sam was right-handed. Bailey painted Sam as a victim, a man destroyed by a mob press, grieving his wife, stripped of his career. The bushy-haired intruder, once dismissed as fantasy, was reframed as the missing piece. The jury deliberated less than a day. Verdict: not guilty. After 12 years, Sam Sheppard walked free, vindicated, or so it seemed. Freedom did not bring peace. Prison had scarred him. Alcohol dulled his days. He tried returning to medicine but struggled. In a bizarre twist, he entered professional wrestling, billed as Killer Sam Sheppard. Fighting in smoky arenas, his health collapsed. In 1970, at just 46 years old, Sam Sheppard died of liver failure, vindicated in court, but broken in life. Sam's story might have ended with his death, but instead it became immortal. In 1963, ABC premiered The Fugitive, the story of Dr. Richard Kimball, wrongly convicted of his wife's murder, searching for the one-armed man. The show became a sensation, watched by millions. Its finale, revealing Kimball's vindication, remains one of television's most watched episodes. Later, Harrison Ford brought the story to the big screen in the 1993 blockbuster film. The Sheppard tragedy had become myth, transformed into entertainment. But behind the drama was still the pain of a family and an unanswered question: who really killed Marilyn Sheppard? In the 1990s, Sam Sheppard, now grown, fought to clear his father's name. DNA technology opened new doors. Tests showed blood at the crime scene from a third, unidentified person. Suspicion fell on Richard Ebeling, a window washer who had worked at the Sheppard home. Ebeling made strange comments over the years, even hinting at involvement. Later convicted of another murder, he died in prison, leaving the truth unresolved. Was he the bushy-haired man? Or had the real killer vanished into history? The Sheppard case is more than a murder mystery. It is a mirror reflecting the fragility of justice in a world shaped by headlines and public opinion. Sam Sheppard remains a figure of tragedy, guilty in the court of the press, innocent in the eyes of a second jury, broken in the arc of his life. His case gave America hard lessons about media, law, and fairness, and it reminds us justice is not just about verdicts, it is about the process. When that process is corrupted, truth itself is the victim. To this day, the murder of Marilyn Sheppard lingers in shadow unsolved, haunting, a question mark etched in blood by Lake Erie.